Oh, there it is. It's better. Okay. So glad to be here. I've not done a super Saturday in a few months. And to be honest, I kind of really miss doing these because they're a lot of fun. I am doing something different. I'm actually using a new software, and it's called StreamYard, and I'm just figuring it out. So if I make some technology issues, or if there's any issues with me presenting, please forgive me. I'm just kind of figuring the stuff out here. All right. So, and I'm also streaming on different platforms. That's actually why I'm using the software. So I'm still using the Art of Being Smart Facebook group. In fact, that group is where all the good stuff is. That's where all the videos are. That's where all the ebooks are. That's where all the checklists are, reports, infographics to help students perform better academically. So if you're not a member of my Facebook group, you should be, because that's where all the good stuff is. Okay. Now, before I get started, again, just wanted to welcome you to the Art of Being Smart. My name is Aleem Nasser, and I'm the president and the founder of the Art of Being Smart. And what I thought I would do is kind of tell you what the Art of Being Smart is. And my head might be going back and forth because I can read comments and everything here. So if you have any questions, please put them in here. So let's get started. So like I said, I'm pretty happy to be here, and I've kind of changed the format a little bit. This is actually the second page. Yeah, so I should have been starting on this. That's me. And this is our topic today, and the topic is, what is the art of being smart? But more specifically, how does it help students to succeed in school and beyond? So I thought this was very important for me to describe here, because there's still a little bit of confusion in terms of kind of what it is that I do and how I can help students succeed in all their classes. And for some people, it just doesn't make sense on how we can do that. So I'm going to really get into detail, and we're going to explain everything more concisely. And I'm going to do my best to make it very clear to all of you how we do this and kind of what we do. Okay, so let's get started. So I always do this because I always like to explain why the topic is important. And the reason I do that is because whenever I create a topic or whenever I do a discussion here, I always try to think of how it'll benefit you. And so I always kind of break it down in terms of what will happen if you do not apply this information, and what will happen if you do apply it. So if you don't apply this information, there's a good chance that if you are experiencing lower grades, you're probably going to continue, because as a student, you may have realized that sometimes, even though you work quite hard and you do put in all our time and effort, it may not result in better grades. Okay, so there's a reason for that, and we're going to kind of break that down in terms of why this happens, and if you are a hardworking student, why it is that you may not be able to be successful. If you don't apply this information, you could be wasting your time in the wrong areas. And as you know, when you're at the university level, time is precious and you can't really waste it. There's a very good chance your stress will increase. Again, something very common for university students. In fact, anxiety and stress is going through the roof when it comes to academics at the post-secondary level. Your confidence level may take a hit, especially if you're not getting the results that you want. There's a good chance that there's a little bit of imbalance in your life, where you might be focusing all your time and effort in studying and your education, and you may even think that's a good thing. But the problem is that if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're kind of just only studying, you're forgetting a big part of your life. And you could have family and friends that you should be spending time with, making sure that you're able to kind of get that mental break, that emotional break, and kind of enjoy yourself a little bit too, because your internal state is actually critical for long-term success. Okay, and also if you don't apply this information, there's probably a good chance that you're not reaching your full potential. and you could potentially have a lack of career success if you're not performing at the level that you need to be at. Okay. If you do apply this information, I really think that you'll be able to achieve academic excellence. You'll be able to be much more effective with your time. Your well-being will improve, and your memory will actually increase because now you're going to be using your mind in a very different way. Your emotional IQ will improve as well. You'll have more work-life balance, and the reason for this is because the time that you do spend studying and the time that you do spend doing your schoolwork is going to be highly concentrated, highly focused in the right areas, which will give you more free time to sort of rest and relax and have that balance, which again is critical for your success. And then there's a very good chance that you could have career advancement. So in other words, you could find a career that you not only find the career, but be accepted into the careers that you really want because your performance level is exceptionally high. Okay, so all sounds good, right? So how do we do this? So very important for me to explain to you that, you know, this program and the Art of Being Smart is not really about just academics, okay? This is what you call a high performance coaching program for high school and university students, okay? So, and just think of it this way. You know, you have these athletes who are very good in their particular sport, but they still have a coach. And so why is it that they have a coach? It's because their coach can actually help them get to that next level and kind of see things in the player that the player may not have seen. So this is kind of what we do with our students. But more importantly, I mean, unless you're a professional athlete, having a coach for a sport, you're probably maybe going to be playing the sport till, if you're playing at a high level, maybe 35. Maybe if you push it, maybe, you know, a few years after that. And then eventually that sport kind of stops. But when it comes to your education, that's lifelong. And what that means is if you're good with your education and you're really able to understand how to learn and become a really good student, it can completely transform the direction of your life. Okay, so this is why I came up with this high performance coaching program for high school and university students, because it can really change the trajectory of their life. And so within the Art of Being Smart, we actually focus on these 4 areas. We focus on psychology, coaching, brain science, and academics. And so all these 4 disciplines are combined together. And this is based on 20 years of study and research, which are actually amalgamated and condensed into 3 months. So a student can actually absorb all this stuff that took me about 20 years to figure out. And 20 years of failure and heartache and making mistakes and all that kind of stuff. Okay. But one of the key principles is that for our students to be successful, they actually have to succeed on the inside first. And this is where we're different, because most schools, they kind of focus on the academics and how they have to, you know, how they teach the course and, you know, they're course specific. Whereas we are not course specific, we're student specific. So we're student centered. And what we do is we focus on making the student feel like a success and help them become successful on the inside first. When that happens, then all of a sudden, when their inside world improves, then their outside world will also improve. Okay. And then this is what allows them to excel in all their classes. And these skills are transferable. So it also allows them to succeed in their careers as well. So really, knowing this information will benefit your child for the next 50 years. Okay. And I'm actually speaking from experience here because I applied these principles when I was on academic probation, and I had to kind of, you know, suffer through it. But not only did I achieve a 4.0 grade point average in 3 degrees, but I also have a career and a life where I really enjoy. And that's how I actually became an author and became a TEDx speaker and started my own business. It's just because I applied these principles that I'm going to be showing you. Okay. So why, again, typo, I apologize. So why has this worked so well in the past 20 years? And I apologize for the typo because I actually kind of had to scramble to do this because I had some technology issues and I kind of had to put these slides together at the last minute. So I apologize. But this program has worked well over the last 20 years because it's built on proven cognitive science. Okay, so we actually look at how the brain works and how the mind works, and we actually apply these principles. This program is tailored to individual learning styles, and each person learns differently. And so because of that, we actually tailor the way we teach our students, and we address, again, more than academic issues. Okay, we focus on personal growth and emotional needs first. In fact, if the emotional needs are not addressed and the personal needs are not addressed, then it becomes very difficult to succeed academically. We update consistently with the latest learnings and techniques, so you're always kind of on the leading edge of improving your learning and being more productive and efficient with your time, which is unlike most schools because there's a lot of politics and red tape for them to change a course. And I know because I've actually taught at different universities, and by the time they kind of figure out how to make the course more advanced and more up to date, guess what? New information's come in, and then now that class now is old news. But that's not how it is here. Every time I learn something, I can pretty much teach it like within half an hour later. Okay, and I've been doing this for over 20 years. I've been a coach for many years, and not just with academics, but like in terms of sports, in terms of working businesses and things like that. Okay, and it's also worked because it's been time tested for over 17 years. Again, I've taught this at many universities. Sometimes I come in as a guest speaker. Sometimes I become my last job to do this was I was a contract, what do they call it? Continuous contract instructor at Mount Royal University, and I taught it for about 13 years. Before that, I taught this at U of C, and I've been a guest speaker at Carleton University, McGill, probably a few other that I kind of forgot. And really, we've seen an improvement in over 6,000 students by them applying this principle, these concepts here. And one of the things that really stands out from what we do compared to other schools is that we offer world-class support. So what we do is we actually provide group coaching. So we have students that can come in and we coach them in a group format, but then we can also do one-on-one coaching if they need more help. And so they don't have to pick. They can kind of use whichever one that will help them the most. Then if they still need help beyond the one-on-one coaching or the one-on-one support, is we can actually have them text us, and we can communicate through text, email, video calls, and I've even been on phone calls with some students as well. And then we even give them a progress tracker, so we can actually track their performance every week, so we know if they're on track or if they're not, or if something is kind of going off, we can kind of figure that out right away. But really, it helps us really to see the trend in which the student is going, which allows us to make sure that we intervene if we need to, if there anything goes off. But more importantly, with that progress tracker, we can actually isolate the specific granular level in which the student is having their issue. And that really will allow us to kind of make a big difference. So for example, if a student is having difficulty on exams, it could be the fact that they're nervous on the exams. It could be the fact that maybe their study approach is incorrect. It could be the fact that they just, have not practiced articulating the answer very well, but they know the answer. So it could be 3 problems. So if we just tell them to work harder, it's not going to solve the issue. But if we actually know which of the 3 problems they're having, we can focus and zero in on it, and all of a sudden they get a much better result. Okay, and then they also get a replay of all our sessions, so they can watch it and go over it if they have any challenges or any issues. So that will help them absorb the information at a deeper level. And then we give each student a mentor, and a mentor is really a student that's already taken this program, and they can actually support and help the other student through the challenges that they're having. But most importantly, the biggest impact is that their career can also be, their career will be much better affected, because the stuff that they're learning at school in terms of time management, in terms of advanced learning skills, in terms of how to organize themselves, how to communicate well, how to become a team player and a team member, these are transferable in the career and in the personal life. And that's really where they see the biggest impact. And that is even beyond school, because during school, they've actually practiced all these principles. And now all of a sudden, when they get into the real world, let's say, they're very adept, and they're very good at these concepts. And then they usually end up getting promotions and moving up in their industry. And even if they want to, do further studies, they even have a good chance to do that as well. Okay, so I thought I would kind of explain to you in a visual a four-year university path. So I kind of doodled this on my own. So I couldn't really find anything that was online that kind of explains the path a university student goes through, but I thought I would kind of draw this out. So basically, I've broken this down into year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. And then, all this stuff in yellow is all the courses they have to take in the first year. And then the second year is in the orange, and the third year is blue, and the fourth year is green. And the reason I've done it this way is because it's important for you to see that a student has to take 40 courses, okay, to get a degree. Some take even more because they have to maybe repeat some classes and things like that. So very important for me to explain to you that what we do is very different from like a tutor or a teacher. So I'll kind of explain to you here. So a tutor and a teacher, they focus on the specific course, okay? And they're subject matter experts, and they're probably excellent in terms of teaching the material, okay? And so a lot of respect for tutors, a lot of respect for teachers, but remember, they're course specific, okay? Whereas we are very different. We are student focused, okay? So what we do is we help the student improve themselves, okay? So what this means is that the well-being of the student comes first for us, okay? So we really focus on human performance, and human performance will not improve unless the student has that well-being and feel confident and has that internal success going on first, okay? Once that's ingrained in them, then all of a sudden everything else becomes easier, right? So we actually help our students with how to use their brain more effectively so they can perform well in all their classes. We help them apply better actions and better habits. And then most importantly is that they don't have to do this alone, because we provide them exceptional support, okay? So this is the difference, okay? So what I always think is important to ask is, what is the value of seeing your child experience the following, okay? What would be the value of seeing your child excel in all their classes? Multiplying their productivity and their efficiency, okay? So they have more time to do the things that they really want to do, and at the same time, because they're so efficient and so productive, they're actually able to perform well in those tasks that they need to do, okay? What would be the value of having them be in a better mental and emotional state, okay? What would be the value of them feeling more happier, confident, and motivated at the post-secondary level? And I know it may sound far-fetched, but our students actually do become happy and confident. And that, again, is the source of why they are successful. And lastly, what's the value of them being selected for the career of their dreams? And again, it's because they do so well in school, they now have opportunities that most students don't have, okay? Again, world-class support, I talked about it. I'm just going to go through it in a little bit more detail just so you can see how we're different, okay? Again, we do the group coaching, we do the one-on-one, we do weekly accountability. They can watch the replays, they can text us, they have email support, they can even call us, which I didn't put on here. Weekly live trainings, such as the one I'm doing right now. They have mentorship from past students, and we can even track their progress each week. And from what we've seen here, there's no high school, university, or coaching program that offers this kind of support, okay? And honestly, if your child is committed, we will not let them fall, okay? So that's our promise. If your child is committed, they show up, they do everything that's asked of them, we won't let them fall, okay? We also want to consider the cost of inaction, okay? So a lot of students who don't figure this stuff out, what happens is they actually accumulate poor grades on their transcripts, which make it harder for them to get the careers that they want. It sometimes costs them a happy future. Why? Because they just now are not going to be selected for the positions that that they really want. And as a result, they spent all this time in school and it's been wasted, and so has their effort. And many students I've personally seen have given up on their dreams and their aspirations. And one comment that I think is, one quote that I think that makes a lot of sense is that everything gets more expensive the more we wait and procrastinate. Everything gets more expensive. So very important that if your child is having trouble and having difficulty, now is the time to sort of help and support them, because if you don't do it now, it'll just get more and more expensive down the road. Okay. So here's some testimonials that I got just to prove that we can help students in all their classes. So the first one here, one of my students from, I think, probably about four years ago now, sent me this a while ago, and he said that he was able to maintain that 4.0 GPA, was accepted into computer science program, and they were able to maintain it. So that's computer science, okay, 4.0. The other individual here got a 92% on their computing midterms. I guess that's also computer science. There was another person here, just talked about their midterms. They talked about that they're still growing and the strategies are getting better, and they understand what is going wrong and how to fix it. Okay, mental health is high, motivation is high, and I will reach my goal of a 4.0 GPA. Okay, so this is their mindset now. Over here, I just got my midterm back from my other class after we ended our call. So we had a call, and she scored 20% above the average, which was an 85. Okay, so these are examples of the kind of things that we deal with. I have, I thought I put this in here, but we had one student who got 90% or more on a differential equation exam. We work with students who are doing aerospace engineering. So different courses, but what's constant is the fact that their brain is, they have to take their brain into every single class, and that's what we work on. Okay, so what I would recommend, if this is interesting to you, let's set up a free 30-minute session, okay, and we'll actually map out a personalized academic success plan for your child. You get more clarity in terms of what's holding your child back. We'll give you ways to study and write exams that you've probably never been shown before, okay? And your life will change with this new knowledge. It's not a sales pitch. It's just really me sharing information with you and helping you out. If you do think that you want to work with us, then we can have that discussion. But really, it's about me just sharing this knowledge with you, because the more people succeed and the more people kind of do better and I'm able to help them, then it works out for you, and it also works out for me too. And remember, this information has already helped over 6,000 students. Okay, so I've put the link if you want to book an appointment with me. Just go to calendly.com/tabs, which is for the art of being smart, /chat with Aleem, and I'm happy to chat with you. Okay, so summary for today is that with the art of being smart, we don't just focus on academics. Academics are kind of the side effect of focusing on helping the student become almost like a super student. And then again, why has it worked so well over the last 20 years? We talked about it, and it's because we deal not just with academics, we look at psychology, we look at coaching, and we also look at brain science as well. Okay. Then we explain the difference between the art of being smart and tutoring. And tutoring and teaching is really course specific, whereas what we do is we're student focused. And once we help the students become a super student, they end up succeeding in all their classes. Okay. And we've been doing this for about 20 years now. So everything is pretty much fine-tuned and good to go. And by the way, I did the stuff on myself as well. So, there is proof, and there are examples of people who have done exceptionally well, even though at one point they never thought they were going to be successful. And that includes me. I never thought I would ever be successful. And we offer world-class help and support for all our students. And the reason why we can spend this much time on our students is because we don't accept more than 10 students a month. And this gives us a lot of time to have that one-on-one time with our students. Okay. And next thing is book a virtual coffee chat with me, and we can just have a quick discussion on how I can help your child perform better academically at first, but then also take those skills and apply them into other areas of their life so they can also be highly successful. Okay, so that's it. Let me see. I haven't done one of these in a while, so probably people don't know that I did one, but let's see if there's any questions. Nope, I think we're good for today. There are a few questions coming later, so if you do have a question, feel free to put it into the chat or the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer that. All right, so take care, all the best, and we'll talk to you soon. And hopefully, my first live stream using a new software went okay. I'm going to check it out. Hopefully it went okay. Let's see. And yeah, and honestly, I'd love your feedback. If there's anything you'd like me to talk about, if there's anything that you liked about my discussion, I'd love to know. If there's anything that you think I could do better or spend more time on, I'd love to know that as well. All right, so take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.